Hello. As I said in the previous video, on this video we're gonna start creating our enemies and how their behavior should be. I have a plan in my head, in my mind. On this project I want to have several different types of enemies, each with their own unique abilities, characteristics, things that make them unique. Now, I need to make a little disclaimer. On this project, I'm 90% sure I'm not gonna use any sprites for any of my enemy objects. I think I'll carry on with the good old cubes. The most change I'm gonna do is give each enemy type a different material. With that being said, let's go into our materials folder and create a subfolder. Enemies. Ledger. This is gonna be our first enemy type. The first we're gonna create, the type we're gonna create in this video. Now for color, why don't we start with bright red? Cause why not? So we got bright red right here. Actually, let me see how it looks. Camera. We can change it later if we don't like it. Now the logic behind the ledgers. Actually, let's create a prefab. Let's make this a prefab. Calling it ledger. Maybe we can make this a trigger too. Should we make it? Nah, we should make it a trigger. We're gonna keep the now mesh agent, and we're gonna keep the codes in our enemy Vulkan scripts, but we're gonna create a new script, an enemy bear script, and paste our codes into that new script. Now, where should we start? We should start with making this a prefab. Why is this not red? So player. Oh, what? Why are you not? So if I'm right, if we put an instance of this in the scene, when we start our runtime, it's gonna give an error, right? Yes. So to fix that, we need to do a little adjustment to our script. Let's make this private. Player character equals to find any object, find first. I don't want to find them by type. Objects finds. Not. Game object find. Game object finds. create a tag for a player. You did not save. Why did you not save? Why are you... Oh, it's because the player tag exists. Okay then. And now if we put a latcher into our scene, it should not give an error. Yes, perfect. Pew, 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 pew. Now the latchers, let's remove this. The latcher, how do I say it? The latch. Is this even a real word? Latcher. Latcher. Okay then, latcher. So our latchers are gonna be, it still sounds very weird on my tongue. Jeez. So the latchers, it's like saying letters. So, you know these guys? This prefab that we just created. These are very simple. We're gonna spam them in our scene, and they will latch onto our enemy player object. That's where the name comes from. They latch onto our enemy player object. But I need to test something. So this latcher is gonna go to our player object. And when a latcher latches onto our player object, the latcher is gonna slowly drain our player object's health slowly. Let's first create the code for that behavior, and then we're gonna find a way to get rid of any latchers that might latch onto our player object. Actually, maybe latchers are a little bit more special, are a little bit too special for a first enemy type. We can make the latchers on later videos, but for now I want to create a more standard enemy type. Let's create a new name. What should this be? Standards, I guess. Yeah, that works. Going to materials, standard. Alright. Now prefabs standard. Our standards enemy objects are gonna be slightly slower. Actually, not slightly, slower than our player objects. And using the stopping distance, they're gonna stop in front of the player object to simulate, to make it look like the standard enemies are hitting the player object instead of latching onto them, which we'll do with the latchers. Now, what's our player's movement speed is 5. It's 3, but we're gonna make it 5. And we're gonna make this 3. putting a standard enemy into our scene. Let's see how much speed difference is gonna be. Yes, our player character can easily outrun a standard enemy. Now using this stopping distance. Let's see how this will look like. Oh. That did not work. Why did that not work? It's because of the code. Even though we have stopping distance set as 1, we are still telling our agents to constantly go to our player object's exact position. So we're gonna try something like this. Vector 3 distance. So transform position there. If distance is bigger than mesh agents stopping distance, that did not work. Why? This will give an error. Yes, it does. Let's see. Distance. Calculates the distance between two three-dimensional points. Perfect. That's what we want. Why are you still... Oh. There. Now distance. If it is bigger than this, then we do this. Else, what do we do then? Mesh agent. So we got base of transform radius. Is stopped. Use this property to set or get whether the non-mesh agent stops or continues its movement along the current path. True. Agent is stopped. False. Now let's see if this is gonna work. Nope, still not working. Why is that? Let's try a bigger value. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 1 unit was not enough. Let's try 2. Let's try 1.5. I just don't want our standard enemies to phase into our player object. That's something I want reserved for larger enemies, which will just, by its name, latch onto our player object. Which is why with the latchers, the stopping distance is gonna be 0. That's very good. I like that. I like that. 1.5. Perfect. Now, going back to our enemy script, I'm gonna name this to enemy behavior scripts. Let's actually make that now. Enemy behavior script. I don't know why this is here. Enemy behavior script. Then reset. I want you to have another name. There. Okay then. Now, what was I gonna do? I kinda lost my train of thought. Let me think. Right, I was gonna do this. So, private float hits right. Void hits clear. Hits rates dot time, and if his hit rates is smaller than or equal to 0, then in this portion we're gonna call a public function from our player behavior that decreases our health variable. You see what I'm getting? So let's see, how can we do this? Public void damage standard. Then player character get actually, can we, no, get components, player behavior, then damage standard. There. And in here, health. So how much is health? Is it just one? Just one. Let's see if this can work. We're gonna put a standard enemy into here. Now we're gonna see if the enemy can hurt our player object. Oh, we didn't. We need to. We need to set this back to its original value. There. Now let's try again. There you can see the screen slowly fading in. That's really nice. You can see that our standard enemy is slowly damaging our player. And that's it. Now I wonder if there is anything we can add to our, actually not enemy behavior script, standard behavior script. That's better. Now we're gonna do the same naming here on our editor. There. Great. Is there anything else we can do? I don't think so. This is pretty satisfying so far. We created a great standard enemy behavior. It's called standard for a reason. It doesn't need to be complicated. I think that's it for this video. In the next video, we're gonna continue creating new enemy types. Making the standard enemy type took how much minutes? 22 minutes. So I'm pretty sure each enemy type is gonna have its own video, because if I put them together, it's probably gonna be longer than 1 hour. So yeah, see you guys in the next video where we're gonna create our second enemy type.